Game of Thrones ended with an interesting scene of Arya Stark leaving on an unknown expedition. This also opens a slot for future spin-off series specifically on Arya Stark. The Game of Thrones series ended with a surprising number of the Stark siblings still alive and holding some serious power. Bran Stark is now king of the Six Kingdoms, because Sansa is queen of the North, now a separate kingdom in its own right. Jon Snow has been sent back to the Night's Watch and is headed north of the Wall, and Arya Stark has taken off on her own adventure to find out what's west of Westeros. A spin-off focusing on Arya Stark's adventures would answer many lingering questions from the series finale. While the flagship series is now over, the world of Game of Thrones isn't done yet. Not only are there still a couple of books to come in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, but there are multiple spin-offs in the works as well, and one focusing on Arya Stark and her new journey would be the perfect next step for HBO. HBO programming president, Casey Bloys, however, has since strolled up to the party and popped the balloons, explaining how they don't want to pursue any spin-off shows connected to characters from Game of Thrones. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter about if an Arya spin-off could be on the cards, Casey said, "Nope, nope, nope. No part of it is, I do want this show, this Game of Thrones, Dan and David's show, to be its own thing. I don't want to take characters from this world that they did beautifully and put them off into another world with someone else creating it. I wanted to let it be the artistic piece they've got. That's one of the reasons why I'm not trying to do the same show over. George has a massive world, there are so many ways in. That's why we're trying to do things that feel distinct, and to not try and redo the same show. That's probably one of the reasons why, right now, a sequel or picking up any of the other characters doesn't make sense for us. The only confirmed spin-off is a prequel set thousands of years before Game of Thrones, penned by screenwriter Jane Goldman and Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin. But this can't be taken for granted. George R.R. Martin recently revealed 3 spin-offs are still in development, although it's unlikely that this many will actually be created. The majority are likely to be prequels, set many years before the original show, and fans have theorized that anything from the Targaryen conquest to the Doom of Valyria could be in the cards. However, focusing one spin-off on Arya Stark would help answer some major questions that fans have after the finale, and have had for quite a while, as well as fixing some of the issues that saw Game of Thrones ending as a bit of a disappointment. The question that Arya seeks to answer is one that fans are also fascinated by: what's west of Westeros? The kingdoms and lands to the east, Essos and beyond, are explored to various degrees in the series, books, and companion books. However, the west is utterly unknown. The story of Alyssa and her ship ending up back on Essos suggests that this world is, unsurprisingly, round, which means that there may be entire other continents waiting to be discovered. Arya's journeys may also lead to more understanding of the lands that have been mentioned but not totally explored, not just if she should sail all the way around to the furthest eastern lands that are mentioned in A Song of Ice and Fire, but through meeting with other sailors, pirates, and corsairs, or by finding reasons to turn back and explore Essos in more depth. All of this exploration could also fix a major problem with Game of Thrones: the lack of real diversity. Of course, no spin-off idea is perfect, and there are a few issues with this idea for where Game of Thrones can go next. For one thing, there is no clear villain or antagonist from the start. Game of Thrones struggled to wrap up their big villain arcs in the end, though, so perhaps a series without a big bad isn't the worst idea for a spin-off. A clear end for this series would be for Arya to travel all the way around the world and come home again, but then what? Another catch-up on where Westeros is now, which would be logistically incredibly difficult to create. It seems like a unique opportunity to do a spin-off, sequel series with one of the most beloved characters from the original while simultaneously avoiding the tricky problem of not wanting to continue writing the history of Westeros itself and the remaining characters there. The concept is kind of on a silver platter here, but it seems that it's not in the cards for now, regardless. HBO could always return to it. As I said, Maisie Williams is young and would likely hop back into the role of Arya at any point, given the chance to star in her own series, and hell, even if it's another decade from now, there's no reason it still couldn't work then. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.